Good Wednesday morning to anyone out there checking out your cup of cyber. Midweek, as you can see, we have hoisted the Jolly Roger this morning.
Avast, ye scallywags!
Yes, avast. As we talk about attacks and the effects of attacks that we see in the world today. Today, we're going to jump in and talk about something that has impacted critical infrastructure. And it's just a small touch of what could happen. But we have to maintain vigilance, and especially as we're the security folks on the front line, what we need to do to protect against attacks like the one we're going to talk about today on a gas compression facility. So stay with us. Quick intro, and we'll be right back to it. Welcome to your morning cup of cyber. Today our Illy coffee's in a Missouri cup. Not that there's a bunch of pirates in Missouri, I don't think, but it just happens to be the cup of the day. So today it is Fairy Tale Day. It's also Ash Wednesday for those in the Catholic faith. So get out there, I guess, tell a fairy tale. We'll tell a fairy tale about a gas compression facility and some warnings put out by the U.S. Department of Homeland Security's Critical Infrastructure, Homeland Security's Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency. I guess that's a mouthful. CISA, we'll call them. They put out a warning. Good warning this morning about a cyber attack targeting critical infrastructure. And not long after, there was a cyber attack targeting an unnamed natural gas compression facility. And they were taken out, of course, by human error. A targeted spearfishing campaign was launched, and they attacked the facility with some ransomware. Spearfishing is always a bad thing. We always have to be on the lookout because, of course, the human element is one of the ones we can't really put a cyber control around. We can't put a technical control around a person. So we have to get out there. We have to train the end user, train our people to be looking out for these things. Especially spearfishing is much, much worse than general fishing, since it's targeted at a specific user or group of users in some cases. So we want to beware of these types of attack. Phishing, a lot of times these emails look very official. They look real. So make sure folks are trained and aware of how to spot them, and you have some technical measures on your network to maybe protect against this kind of stuff. So CISA noted in their alert, a cyber threat actor used a spearfishing link to obtain initial access to the organization's information technology network before pivoting to its operational technology network. The threat actor then deployed commodity ransomware to encrypt data for impact on both networks. So we see this a lot of times where we see these SCADA networks, these networks that were never designed to be connected to our IP infrastructure, connected now because it makes it easier to manage, and leadership management can get these real-time updates of what's going on, what the production numbers look like, that kind of stuff. So when we start connecting these networks that weren't supposed to be connected in the past, we see more chances of an attack on one network, obviously breaching over to the other network. Definitely a bad thing, right? Let me move over a little bit. Maybe that'll give you easier to read this. The Ryuk ransomware infection had forced the facility to shut down for 30 hours, disrupting camera and physical access control systems, along with shutting down the entire corporate IT network to the facility. And that's from Drago Security. That's not from CERT. They did some independent research on their own, found out exactly kind of what they figured happened here. Ryuk, encrypts some of the hard drive, some of the data, so you can't get to it. So shut down for 30 hours, a little over 2 days. The facility was out of operation. So this was a natural gas compression facility, but it could have easily been part of the power grid, part of the banking sector. So we are not only critical infrastructure, but across the country, we need to be aware of, what ransomware, what phishing, what these attacks, we back them all the way back up. It was ransomware that encrypted this thing. It was brought on by a spear phishing attack, but it's, if we have protections in place, these get reduced dramatically. So in this case, we could add some technical protections in place, maybe to try to avoid the user clicking on the link. Maybe, we talk a lot in Security Plus. When we talk about that, we talk about, maybe we only need hypertext email. We don't need hypertext email. We only need plain text email. That's an option. It makes it a lot easier to see a phishing link when it's not just a, see my summer photos word link. They're saying the attack didn't impact any of the programmable logic controllers, or the PLCs. Those are the things that actually run the compression side of the facility, the actual the work. It just was the IP network essentially. And the victim did not lose control of its operations. They just were they couldn't work for 30 hours because the other side of their networks was down. The SCADA network was not down per se, but cameras, physical access, all that other stuff was down. So they could not go to work. The impact was limited to Windows-based systems and assets located on a single geographic location. It said the company was able to recover from the attack by getting a hold of replacement equipment and loading the last known good configuration. So if you didn't have a backup, you definitely would have been in trouble here. So they had to get totally new equipment, replacement equipment. Maybe it wasn't brand new, but they had to get replacement equipment, rebuild it, put it in place, and then get back to work. So it was probably scrambling. They were probably scrambling at this unnamed location. Not sure where it was, but man, it could be a bad day. So the end goal, we have to put these controls in place, and sometimes they're safeguards. We do it ahead of the attack to try to prevent the attack. Sometimes they're countermeasures after the attacks happen. So obviously, the further we go to the left, the further we go to prevent the attack, the better off we are. We're not trying to recover. It's a lot cheaper. It's a lot more effective. But we have to put these controls in place. Administrative controls, operational controls, technical controls. They all have to go in place. That's why we do this stuff. That's why we do the job we do. That part of the job is not as sexy as the, penetration testing and hacking and that kind of stuff. But those controls that the blue side of the house, puts in place is what prevents this kind of stuff. It's not as glamorous, but man, is it important. So, the shirt today, we're looking at Christopher Moody, perfect for tell a fairy tale day, since Christopher Moody was often credited with creating the Jolly Roger, which he didn't do. And he wasn't actually a pirate captain. He never became a captain. He was always part of the crew. So, but one of the famous flags you see out there in the pirate world, one of the rare ones that's red. Red flags meant we give no quarter. Means that once attacked, they will not, fight to the last man kind of thing. So, anyways, big point today. We've got to train our users. We've got to put controls in place. The blue team out there, the folks that are protecting the networks, ultra important. We really have to, hands down to the blue team's not quite as glamorous as ethical hacking. The gray team or the red team going in and actually attacking the systems, but so important to do this stuff. And to the training folks, the folks that do put on the training, put the training out there, and help our end users not click the link. Most people are being attacked now by attacking the end user, because it goes around a lot of the security controls, around a lot of technical controls. If we can get someone to click the link and invite the vampire into the house. Once you invite them in, you blow past a lot of the protections, just like the fairy tale of of inviting a vampire in, and all the protections you could have are gone once you invite them in. So once you invite the attacker in, a lot of your controls go away. So be careful, train your end users, be safe out there. Hopefully, you're in for the challenge for the month of March, trying to get the channel to 1,000 people. Then we'll start giving away some IT fundamentals, plus training to anyone that has liked the channel by the end of the month, if we can get to 1,000 folks. So again, be safe out there. Like, subscribe, throw a comment down below. Let us know what you think. Hit the bell to be notified when new content comes out. And as always, be safe out there. We'll see you tomorrow.